and welcome to So-Called Friends. All right, so today we are going to be discussing should we disclose things from our past relationships to our new partners, or should we not? Why we should or should not be disclosing anything in our past relationships to the new person today. All right, so here we go.
I called my friends, and they called their friends.
Yup.
And now you're on the line getting tea from so-called friends.
All right. So we're gonna pick it up. Y'all heard that harmony.
That girl can sing, y'all.
Okay, so the topic today, I think it derives from the fact that sometimes when we get comfortable in relationships and we get with a new person, we kind of want to give a disclosure as to why the last relationship didn't work. And in my point of view, I think that sometimes that can be a train wreck. That can be ammo for the dude, or the person in general. I'm not going to even say man or woman, just because this can go for both females or males. That can be ammunition for them to use, in my opinion.
And here's my thing. If I tell you something and you use it against me later, you dead.
And I totally agree. I feel like unless you are, have some felonies or you packing around a disease they need to know about, anything in your other relationship, just keep it to yourself, because people tend to use that, when you fighting, you get into it, they'll use things in your past as, a weapon. And I've been there, I've done that. So in my opinion, I say keep your past relationships in the past.
Right.
I agree. I think you only disclose what needs to be disclosed at that moment and let them get to know you. And then you decide what you want to disclose.
Yeah, that's important.
Right. I was gonna say, you can talk about like things that are triggers for you, hurts, or things like that, but I don't think that you should go into great detail about what the last person did to you, because sometimes I feel like we hold on to those things and have an expectation from the new person, and that's not the same person. You're not gonna give me what the last person
Right, because then also they feel like the baggage, a lot of the times in certain situations, you'll be arguing with this person or having a discussion with this person, and then now they feel like, oh, you bringing the past that didn't have nothing to do with me into it. And you're like, well, wait a minute, where did that come from? It came from the fact that you opened your big mouth and you gave them information that they probably never should have been privy to.
Right.
Very true.
But I think some people probably look for your weaknesses to use against you. So
come on, weaknesses.
That's true.
Yeah.
Don't disclose everything.
Right. And for me, like, if you're not bringing kids or something into the relationship, I don't even care to know anything about an ex that I don't have to deal with.
Right.
Like, what's
Very
the
true.
interest in knowing, or what is even the benefit of knowing anything about another relationship I've been in, unless you have to deal with that person, unless we're like raising kids, step kids together or something like that. It's just like,
so clearly we all agree on that, but I think the problem comes in because we see it all too much. Most people get comfortable and you start bedroom pillow talking, just like you do when you got a dude and you start telling them too much of your friend's business or whatever the case is. It's just certain lines, certain boundaries that pillow talk has to stop at. And I think getting off that subject, but that's another one, you know what I'm saying? Pillow talking with him about things that's your friends or somebody else. Just pillow talk in general. And sometimes that can include your own stuff. And it can get you in a lot of trouble.
That is very true.
right. And when pillow talking, you got to know who you're dealing with too, because some people you can maybe talk to about stuff and some people you can't. And you'll learn that too in your relationship. Like, oh no, I can't talk to.
Because you need to be able to treat
because
me.
it's not gonna stay there.
Right, but I need you to learn how to love me for the way we gonna love. Because the way I love the last person ain't the way that me and you probably gonna love each other.
The situation gonna be totally different. It's not even the same. It's not the same relationship. We're not gonna go through the same stuff. You dealing with somebody totally different. So
And I always think, like, if I'm in a new relationship, and to me, if you do too much bad talking on your last person, I'm looking at you sideways, because clearly you were with that person for a reason. So now if all you have to say about them is negative things, I'm like, well, hold on, bro.
Right.
Because let's just say, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Of course, you always want to put yourself in the best light, but sometimes you do fucked up shit, and I'm like, everything about you ain't gold. So
Yeah, I agree, because I don't like when people do that. Like, don't trash talk me when we was together, and you know what I'm saying. Now, like, you act like like you all that or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like that right now.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. But do you think that a lot of the time that's a way to relate to a person? So when you first meet a person, you really don't have much to talk about necessarily.
For sure.
So that's kind of a relatable topic. Or so where were you in life, or what? You know what I'm saying? What was your past like? And then now you start trading secrets. But is that person really giving you any ammo to use?
Well, my whole thing is you have to know what you're saying to someone. It's okay to discuss things that's happened in your past. It's another to go into great detail about this and particular situations and things like that. If you have, like I said, if you have things that's trigger, you should definitely tell somebody what's a trigger to you so they know how to treat you going forward. But you don't have to give them all of the nitty gritty of what happened, because like Tam said, we ain't always the innocent party in the situation. Right. So be careful on what you're discussing with people, because sometimes you can put yourself out there and, okay, maybe I've cheated in the past. Okay, that doesn't mean that's what I'm going to do in the future. But if I start putting that out there like that, then it's already this thing on me. The first time I don't answer my phone or do this, that, and third, your mind automatically, because that's what we do as people, go to those things in particular situations that we discuss.
When you said let them know what triggers you, do you think that could be used against you though?
It can, but it's your responsibility to let someone know what your expectations
how to treat you, like what you
that's
like
why
and
it's
what you
about
don't
line,
like.
though.
Right.
Because now we're talking about I'm giving you my triggers and I'm giving you my secrets, but also I'm trying to keep a balance of not giving you too much. So it's a fine line.
But a trigger and a secret is different.
Yeah.
To me, in my personal opinion.
But people will take your triggers though.
They will, but you can't control what you give someone else. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to give them anything and they can still do those same things and cause those same feelings and hurts to you. But it's your responsibility to let someone know what your expectation is, especially if you've been hurt already in the past. I would think that you would go into a new situation making sure that that's something that you don't want to experience again. At least try not to.
Yeah, and then you guard it though. Yeah.
I have to agree with Tiff, because like I said, if it's an old relationship, that means something happened, you know, why y'all not together anymore. And so I've used something somebody gave me against them in an argument. So, you know, I know how it can go. They told me something that they did in another relationship, and when I got mad, I brought it back up and used it in an argument, you know. Or like she said, they told me, the relationship ended because I did X, Y, and Z. I cheated and this, that, or whatever. So in my mind, he's a cheater. So I got to keep my mind open or my eyes open for him cheating, even though that may not be the case in this new relationship. But because you put that out there, I'm automatically.
But see, that's why I feel like we're friends, because I feel like on that level we all think alike. But you have some women that are naive and they feel like, well, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? I'm different. He's not gonna do me the way he did her. Or they choose to look at the last relationship and say, well, it's because she did this or she did that, or she's not this or she's not that, and I'm gonna be different, and so it doesn't put us in the same, you know what I'm saying? So then she can be kind of overly naive to a lot of things and not catch those red flags.
It's the same way like when we have expectation for our kids. Our kids are perfect until they do something.
That's true.
And once they do something, it's like you can't unsee that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, it's just the truth. People like we give people the benefit most of the time. We give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah,
She need a hug.
Right, but you know, I'm just saying. Like, I feel like that's a thing with us. Like I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt until you know give me otherwise to think differently about you.
Yeah, I think that it can be a catch-22 both ways. You know what I mean? I mean, you want to be vulnerable enough that if this relationship can make it and survive, you want to be vulnerable enough to be able to give this person a lot of you, but you want to also be smart enough not to bring, because that's sort of bringing baggage into a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Sort of saying, hey, he was a cheater, I was a cheater, it's because he was a cheater, now I'm distrustful of men, and now, even if you didn't do anything and you only told him that my last spouse cheated on me, now you have the stigma of, oh, and now you think I'm gonna cheat on you, or you know what I'm saying? So now you have that stigma on you, not for anything you necessarily did. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think I'll say this. So like I find that
I'm not that other nigga.
Yeah, true. But I find that like because I am out here dating and I'm really an open book. Like if somebody asks me a question, I'll give you an honest answer. And so one particular time I was talking to this guy and he, I told him about a situation that happened and he said, well, why would you why would you tell me that? Well, first of all, you asked me. We having a conversation. You asked me, and then he was like, okay, well, if we were to be in a relationship, would you want to do that same thing? And I was like, well, no, that was a period of time in my life I did that, and I'm not interested in that anymore. So he tells me, well, you shouldn't tell people that. And so I said, well, but you asked me a question, and I
So
gave
you want me
you
to lie about it?
yeah, you gave me I gave you an honest answer. So it's just like, okay, well, I divulged something to you, but now you want to take it and.
But if you think about it, that's what people want. When you first meet a person, you meet their representative.
Right.
You meet their representative for a minute,
sure.
as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? And then later on in the game, you're like, well, I didn't even know this, or I didn't even see this. Well, no, because you was meeting a whole other person, and
Right.
he wanted your he was asking for your representative.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, don't tell me about you. Tell me about something glamorous. I don't want to know that.
Yeah, and people don't want to admit it, but people are judgy as hell. People are judgmental as hell.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you can definitely get to know somebody without knowing everything about other relationships.
And I also think that a lot of times people just have these insecurities about themselves that they put on you. I just think that you should be able to trust your person, and people trust them until you can't trust them. And so you don't really know what's good to give someone and what's not, because we can give them the least and they can still do the most, or we can give them the most and they can do the least. So
I mean, that's based on the person.
It's just
That's true. But then also, I feel like a lot of domestic violence stuff. I'll hear somebody say, "Well, he wasn't violent with his last person, but because she told him that she came out of an abusive relationship, he knows the limits that he can go." You see what I'm saying? So now he doing shit that he never would have even really done in the past to another woman, but I know I can. So now I'm doing this with you too, because that's how I feel like you mine. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm gonna choose to keep my own secrets as it pertains to what I've gone through, or what now expectations and what I've gone through are different things. I will give you an expectation, and I will expect you to, follow certain things when we start dating. And I might not give you the full reason why I expect that, because it ties into what you don't need to know. But just know, you know what I'm saying?
Either you gonna meet it or you're not.
People just don't have to know everything. They just don't.
Some
They keep something for yourself.
Some shit I forgot
for
on
your
purpose.
memories. People don't have to
Some
know.
shit I forgot on purpose.
Yeah, some people
I'm
just don't have to know
traumatized.
everything.
And I believe, like my mom used to say, don't ever let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. And I
just
still
stuck on that.
and I still roll with that.
Baby, that is an old woman. What they call it, a folk tale for old women.
But it's not.
I know we can all relate to this one. I'm just saying, I'm just scale on by. Like when people ask you, well, how many sex partners you had? 2, including you.
What's that song that
The
say?
one I had with
Take
my
that
baby.
and divide it by.
But first of all, don't even ask me that question, because I ain't even gonna answer it.
No, I
Like,
get it. It's
no.
2. It's my baby daddy and you.
Right. That's it.
People shouldn't be asking that.
Right. That's it.
Look, you make number 4.
Right. That's it.
Them 3 kids.
But I'm just saying. But when people
But in
ask
this
us like that,
good tender age of 40s, it
I
ain't your
ain't
business.
even that old.
It ain't your business.
For a couple more days.
Don't put that on me yet. Don't put
Listen,
that on me
I
yet.
legit just said that. I am not, baby, I'm in my 30s still.
Okay.
I got only a few more days.
Few
She
more
only
days.
got a few more days.
Don't rush it.
Don't rush it.
Don't rush it. Yeah, but that's the question people still asking. Long as my paperwork clean, don't worry. You worry about the wrong
listen,
thing.
if you approach me and my uterus and fell out, then just keep on going.
Oh.
That's all I can say, because it's just been 2 people, my baby daddy and you. That's it.
Look,
That's it.
She's 23.
Well, that's good.
That's
Girl,
it.
listen.
That's it.
Listen, because it ain't your business. Look, what's happened the Brown say?
Because that's my business.
Because
That's my business.
That's right. And that's how we gonna end this today. Because that's our business. We ain't giving you nothing. You don't need nothing. You don't deserve nothing. Let's just move forward. It's a clean slate. The whole idea of having a new partner is what?
New.
Like
New beginnings.
We
New
knew.
chapters.
We knew.
Show me something new.
Yeah.
Show me what you're working with.
Okay.
So we hope you guys enjoy. We hope this conversation leads from our living room and goes to your living room and your telephone and your girl groups, and keep the conversation going. I think these are conversations that I think as women we need to talk about. A lot of the time we have difference of opinions, but I mean, me and my friends, we don't want to pour, honey.
Yes.
One. Don't ask us out.
So until next time, we'll see you guys.
Bye.
I call my friends. Hey.
And they call their friends. Now you're on the line getting tea from so-called friends.